Good morning, students. This is 11th standard botany video class, video 2. In this video, we are going to continue the lesson plant growth and development. Dear students, in the previous video class, we have seen different types of movement and their activities with the example. In this video also, we are going to continue another type of movements and their activities in their plants. First, we are going to see seismonastic movement. What is seismonastic movement? That means plants which are responding to shaking movement is known as seismonastic movement. What is seismonastic? Plants which is response to the shaking movement. The best example is Mimosa pudica. In English, it is touch me not plant. In Tamil, it is Tottal Siningi. So this plant is a very sensitive plant which responds to the touch, blow or metallic shock by folding their leaflets and lowering their leaves. So this effects of closing of leaves is taken place due to the movement of water in the xylem content. See the picture. This is the plant, touch me not plant. When you touch the plant, it closes its leaves. So this closing of your leaves which has taken place due to the movement of water and also out of the parenchyma cells of the pulvinus. So pulvinus means at the base of the compound leaf, they are having the bulged portion is known as pulvinus. So due to the water movement in the pulvinus, which cause seismonastic movement. See the diagram which are showing the seismonastic movement in Mimosa pudica. See, first one is the cell which are containing the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is surrounded by cell wall. Inner side, they are having water molecule. Then, these water molecules which are contains hydrogen, chloride and potassium ions. When water molecules are again added, these molecules are converted into large molecules of water, and also there is no continuous flow of the water. So the cell is look like flaccid chapayark. But in the first diagram, the entire plasma membrane with the cell wall surrounded by the plasma membrane and cell content are filled with a large quantity of water, so that it's said to be turgid state of a verapark, like a water poured in a polythene paper. Then after that, by using a pin, we are pricking the polythene bag with water. The water is oozes outside. The polythene bag is look like a flattened one. Like that, these water molecules are split into like this, so that cell is flaccid. So how it will be taken place? That means they are added more hydrogen ions. Chlorine and potassium ions are liberated outside. Once again, if you are adding the water molecule, which are showing the blue color arrow mark, the cell became flaccid. Then after that, the hydrogen contents are releases outside adding of chlorine and potassium ion and water. Once again, the cell comes into the original position, that is turgid state. So this is the activities is taken place in the pulvinous portion of a Mimosa pudica plant is known as seismonastic movement. See, this is the left side stem, right side a bulged portion is called pulvinus of a compound leaf. In this pulvinus, they are having the stretched flexor cells and also flaccid extensor cells. Both of them located in a opposite direction. Then, if they are arranged in a parallel manner, means the water circulation is taken place in a proper way in the touch me not plant. But when external factor such as touch or a blow, what will happen? These two cells are arranged in the opposite direction. It will make to stop the transport of water in the pulvinous region so that the leaves are became closed. But these two cells are run in the parallel way at the time the water circulation is taken place in the pulvinous region of a leaf. It makes the leaf to open. That is the seismonastic movement is shown in the touch me not plant. The next movement is thigmonastic movement. It will be found on the leaves of Drosera and Diania. It is otherwise known as Venus flytrap. It will be happens due to the touch stimulus of insects. When the insects are sit on the leaf, a small hair-like outgrowth called cilia curve inward to trap the insects and trigger the hairs activated. Similarly, in Diania, the two half of the leaf curve upwards along the midrib. So these parts of the leaves come to their normal position after the insects has been digested. See, this is the Diania plant. It is a insectivorous plants. Example, Venus flytrap or Nepenthes. Sorry, not Nepenthes, Utricularia. It is the insectivorous plants which are capturing the insects to meet out the nitrogen deficiency problem. Dear students, nitrogen is very much important for the formation of chlorophyll pigment. So even though these plants are green in color, they are going to do the photosynthetic function, but they lack nitrogen deficiency, so that they are capturing the insects and fulfill the nitrogen deficiency. The insect body which contains large amount of nitrogen, so the leaf arrangements is attract the insects and they are captured by the leaves by the movements of up and downward movements is known as thigmonasty in Diania. Second movement is physical movement or hygroscopic movement. It will be taken place in the dead parts of a plant. and they are not related to the response to the stimuli, that is irritability of the protoplasm. They are known as hygroscopic movement or mechanical movement. Example: dispersal of seeds, dehiscence of sporangia, bursting of the seeds are the best example of hygroscopic movement. Dear students, up to this we have seen different types of movements with the example. Next we are going to see the topic phototropism. Dear students, for the initiation of flowers is taken place in plants and trees. They are showing the variation. In trees, the flower formation takes for several years. But in the annual herb, annual means plants which are completing the life cycle within the year, they are producing the flowers within a 6 months or a few months. So each and every plant which require a specific period or particular period to complete their vegetative organs, followed by reproductive phase, as per the internal control of plants is known as biological clock. That means plants which are showing the two type of phase, vegetative phase and the reproductive phase. The formation of flowers is the reproductive phase. It will be vary in different plants and trees. So plants which are completing their vegetative phase followed by the reproductive phase, as per the internal control points, is known as biological clock. So this physiological mechanism relation to flowering are controlled by light period and temperature. So light period is known as photoperiodism. Temperature is known as vernalization. What is photoperiodism is a very, very important 2-mark question. The answer is the physiological change. Physiological change means functional change on flowering is due to the relative length of light and darkness. So the functional activities of flowers is depending upon the relative length of a light and darkness, is known as photoperiod or photoperiodism. What is the answer? The physiological change on flowering due to the relative length of lightness and darkness is called photoperiodism. This was coined by Garner and Allen, and they observed in the biloxi variety of soya bean, that is glycine max, and also they found in the Maryland mammoth variety of tobacco, Nicotiana tabacum. Each and every photoperiod which required to induce flowering is known as critical day length. So the photoperiod, what is photoperiod? Each and every plants require a relative length of light and dark period, isn't it? That is said to be photoperiod. So this photoperiod only required or need to induce for flowering is called critical day length. In Maryland, mammoth is a place of a region contain tobacco plant, requires 12 hours of light and Cochleber requires is another plant known as Xanthium pennsylvanicum. 15.5 hours, 05 hours of light for flowering. Is a very much important one more question. Maryland mammoth tobacco plants require 12 hours of photoperiod, that means light, and cocklebur requires 15.05 hours of light for flowering. Dear students, photoperiodism is divided into different types. One is long day plant, short day plant, and day neutral plant. Dear students, classification of photoperiodism is very very important. 2 mark, 3 mark and 5 mark question. First one, long day plant. In the previous paragraph we have seen the physiological changes for flowering require relative length of light and dark is known as photoperiod. The photoperiod related to inducing flowering is known as critical day period. So based upon that critical day length only, we are going to divide the photoperiodism into 3 types: long day plant, short day plant, day neutral plant. Long day plant means plants which require long critical day length for flowering are called long day plant or short night plant. That means they require long period of light, long critical day length for flowering. Example, pea, barley and oats. Short day plants, the plants require short critical day length for flowering is called short day plant or long night plant. Example, tobacco, cocklebur, soybean, rice and chrysanthemum. Day neutral plant means there are a number of plants which can flower in all possible photoperiod. They are called photoneutrals or indeterminate plants. Example, potato, rhododendron, tomato and cotton. So based upon the requirements of the critical day length, photoperiodism divided into 3 types. Long day plant means plants, answer itself is there in the question itself, the answer is there. The plants which require long critical day length for flowering. Okay, yeah. Second one, short day plant means the plants require short critical day length for flowering. Third one, the plants which can flower in all possible photoperiod is known as day neutral plants. Next one, photoperiodic induction. An appropriate photoperiod in 24 hours cycle constitute one inductive cycle. Plants may require one or more inductive cycle for flowering. The conversion of leaf primordia into flower primordia under the influence of suitable inductive cycle is called photoperiodic induction. This is another important 2 mark question. An appropriate photoperiod in 24 hours cycle constitute one inductive cycle. Plants may require one or more inductive cycle for flowering process. So for this, what will happen means the phenomenon of conversion of leaf primordia, that means young leaf. Afterwards, they are producing the green color buds. The buds which are afterwards modified into flower, isn't it? So that young leaf, that is leaf primordia, into flower primordia, that is the formation of bud, under the influence of suitable inductive cycles is called photoperiodic induction. Example, xanthium. It is a short day plant. What is a short day plant? Plants which require short critical day length for flowering is known as short day plant, which contains one inductive cycle. It requires for formation of flower in one inductive cycle. And plantago is a long day plant. The plants which require long critical day length for flowering is known as LDP. It requires 25 inductive cycle for flowering. So, photoperiodic induction is also very much important for producing the flowers. Dear students, this is the diagram which are explaining the photoinductive perception or photoperiodic induction. It will be explained in the cochlear plant showing photoperiodic stimulus. Most probably, the photoperiodic stimulus are perceived by leaves only. A floral hormone is synthesized in the leaves and translocated to the apical tip to promote flowering. So this can be explained by a small experiment on cochlear plant, that is Xanthium pennsylvanicum. It is a short day plant which are used to prove the photoperiodic induction. See the first 3-potted plant, that is cochlear. They have taken the short day plant. Short day plant means the plants which require short critical day length for flowering. Okay. See in the potted plant, first one which are containing the many leaves. Each leaves which are producing flowers. Second one, there is no leaves, so there is no flower formation. Third one, only one leaf is there. Even though they are having only one leaf, they are producing the flowers. At the same time, they required short critical day length. When you are coming to the long day plant, what is long day plant? Plants which require long critical day length for flowering is known as long day plant. In the first potted plant, they contains many leaves. Second plant, there is no leaves. See the third plant. If they are having the many long day plant and only one short day leaf is there, so many long day leaves is there, but only one short day leaves which are producing the flowers. Usually the plant xanthium will flower under short day condition only. In the long day condition, it does not produce flowers. That's why in the diagrammatic representation, in short day plant, they are producing the flowers immediately with the leaves. If the potted plants there is no leaf means they are not producing the flowers. When you are coming to the long day plant, that means if you are placing the plant in a long critical day length, they are not producing flowers. But if a plant which are producing a leaf, when you are placing in the short day critical length, they are producing the flower immediately. Okay, see that one. If the plant is defoliated and kept under the short day condition, it will not flower. That's why I told you, without leaves means the plant does not showing any flower formation. Flowering will occur even when all the leaves are removed except one leaf. Even though we are removing all the leaves, only one leaf is also can produce a flower. If the cochlear plant is defoliated, that means removed the leaf and kept under wrong day condition, it will not flower because it is a short day plant, isn't it? If you are placing in the long day critical period means it does not flower. But if only one leaf is exposed to the short day condition, it produces the flowers immediately. But the rest of the leaves are not producing flowers because they are in the long day condition. But for one leaf which are placing in the short day condition, it makes the long day leaf is also to produce the flowers. So that is said to be photoperiodic induction, which is proved by the cochlear plant known as Xanthium pennsylvanicum. The next topic is important 3 marks. Importance of photoperiodism. So this photoperiodism is very much important in hybridization process. Photoperiodism is the excellent physiological external factor to induce physiological changes in the plant. So these two are the importance of photoperiodism. Next very important 3 mark and a 5 mark question is phytochrome. Phytochrome is a protein substance which is blue color pigment responsible for the perception of light for physiological process. It was observed by Butler and its colleague, and they proved that this blue color pigment phytochrome, which is exist in 2 forms, that 2 forms are interconvertible, that is one form is changed into another form, that is said to be interconvertible forms. The 2 forms are red light absorbing pigment, which is designated as phytochrome R. R means red, P for phytochrome. So red lighting absorbing pigment. Another one for red light absorbing pigment denoted as PFR. The PR form which are absorbing the light intensity at 660 nanometer, and it is changes into PFR. Why it changes into PFR? I told you they has the capacity to interconvertible. That is, PR is modified into PFR. Likewise, PFR is modified into PR. Then, the PR form absorbs the forward light at 730 nanometer. It changes into PR. So, PR, which are absorb the red light intensity at 660 nanometer, it is converted into PFR. Likewise, PFR form absorbs for red light with 730 nanometer, it is converted into PR. The PR form is biologically inactive and it is stable, whereas PFR form is very active and very unstable. So these PR which are promoting flowers in the short day plant, but the PFR suppress, inhibit or stops the flowering in short day plant. In long day plant, PFR promotes flowering, but PR inhibits the flowering. So PFR is always associated with hydrophobic area. Hydrophobic area means they repels water. Area of membrane system, but PR is found in the diffuser system of cytoplasm. Diffuser system means they absorb large amount of water content in the cytoplasm. So these two interconversion of phytochrome forms which are responsible for flower induction, and also they are additionally playing a role in the seed germination and changes in the membrane formation, conformation. Dear students, see the diagram photoperiodism in plants. So this is the picture of a scientist named Garner and Allard, which are introduced the process known as photoperiodism. Pea, barley and oats are known as long day plant because these plants require long critical day length for flowering. Then see the third diagram. It is a short day plant. Example, tobacco, cockleber and soya bean. They required short critical period day length for flowering is known as short day plant, which are showing at the night time. See the diagram. First one, long daytime, long critical period length na daytime it will be taken place. Short critical period length means it will be taken place at night. So in the first diagram, they are given the sunlight. The third diagram is are given in the moonlight. Then the middle one is the day neutral plant. So the flower which can responsible for all possible photoperiods. That means they are producing flowers in long critical daylight period and also short critical day length period, known as day neutral, or they are known as indeterminate plants. Example, potato, rhododendron and tomato. Dear students, what is long day plants, short day plant, day neutral plant is a very very important 2-mark and 3-mark question. You must learn the examples with the definition. That's very very important. Name some example of long day plant is the 2-mark question. Likewise, short day plant, day neutral plants. Then what is photoperiodism is the very very important 2-mark question. That means plants which responsible for the Relative critical day length, that means light and darkness, is known as photoperiodism. Dear students, I hope have you all understood what is photoperiodism and their types with the example, and also what is phytochrome and their activities for flowering is another important 5 mark question. Up to this, I conclude my video. Remaining, we will see in the next video class. God bless you. All the best, children.